Hello everyone, welcome. Today I'm going to talk about free market. What it is, what does it do, what it doesn't do, and do we really need it? So, first of all, what is it? Well, based on Wikipedia, in economics, a free market is an economic system in which the price of goods and services are determined by supply and demand, expressed by seller and buyer. Such market as model operate without the intervention of government or any external authority. Then proponents of free market as normative ideal contrast it with regulated market, in which government intervenes in supply and demand by means of various methods such as taxes or regulations. In, in an idealized free market, prices for goods and services are set solely by the bids and offers of the participants. Now, that sounds weird because it literally contradicts itself in a third sentence. It states in the second sentence that it's free market because even the government can't do anything to it. Can't regulate it. It can't change it or do anything to it. It's free, and only participants of it have any power in it. But then the next sentence states that apparently they gave up on free market and they just allowed the government to do regulations. And at this point, the question is if it's free market, sort of changed for more adaptive society, how much regulations does the government need to do before it stops being a free market? And does it really decide the price for goods and services uh, based on the participants, or can a government decide those for you? And how does the government decide what is good or bad? Well, for that, we have to look into what free market does right now, today, to this day and age. Well, currently, the free market is in control of every aspect of your life, pretty much. Maybe except your mental state, but depending on influences how much the medication costs and how much the therapy costs, I guess it has influence on that too. Social aspect as well, because it's very dependent on what you have, how you dress, how you talk, and all these things. And quite often, to improve or change them in any way, you have to use the materials you have on you. So it's very, very important in this day and age and controls a lot of things, which makes you wonder then, is it good that the government decides for you what should be regulated and shouldn't? And who has the most decision power? Who can influence the government to do said decisions? After all, government should not have any power in the system except for the social things. Well, that's where the issue actually comes in. The government decides these things, decides the regulations and all the controls based on those who has the most influence to the market. Yes, because the market is not actually free, influenced by those with the most resources. That's how the market works, and it's kind of ridiculous to think there can be a free market. It will always be a market controlled by those with the resources, by not by those who seeks the resource. Because those who seeks the resources will have to give up on seeking those resources for a set price acceptable to them and just take it for seller price depending on how important the item is. That is why free market cannot exist, and that is why governments need to come in and regulate to make sure that things that market cannot regulate
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
would be already regulated. to make sure everybody's on equal standing. So nobody takes extra step above another, because as soon as they do, the market becomes their play toy. As it is right now, we have long step beyond that. The government does not regulate that market to help the people, the demanding part, but the supplying part. They allowed to privatize the things that the market should not be in control of. Things like housing, food, clothing, transportation, all these things you pay taxes for. So the government would regulate these because the market is unable to neutrally regulate them. It will always be biased towards the supplier. And if it's biased towards the supplier, well, it's not actually free market. And so the whole system crumbles and is unable to function. Only way to make it function is to make people think it works, to make them believe it's a good functioning system and that there is no better option, which is well proven by all the media and all the history, where whenever there is a failed system experiment, it will instantly be labeled socialism, communism, or whatever other countering system is, and then shown a million times over and over again as a cautionary tale, no matter if it's true or not, ignoring the facts and ignoring all the data and everything else. So, at the end of the day, do we really need this system? Is it really that useful? Or are we just delusional? Because, in my opinion, we really don't need a system. We need another system that is actually neutral, that actually cares for the people as a whole, not a single individual, not a few with the most resources, but everybody equally. And at the end of the day, I'd say the best option we have right now is indeed either socialism or communism. They are the two systems that have the most flexibility, the most ability for change, and allows the most freedom for people to make their choices how they want their governments to run. And on that bombshell, thank you for watching and see you in the next video.